How's it going? I'm Jesse, and I was an addict. I want to talk about that. Not so much about me being an addict, but the framework that helped me get sober and stay sober. Because I think a lot of addicts out there want to be sober. I don't think that everybody wants to be addicted. So in this video, I'm going to take the time to break down what I consider to be the framework, the technique that I used to get sober, to break free of all of my addictions. I know that drugs, alcohol and gambling are like the main ones that most people talk about. Now there's a lot of people bring in porn and sex and those addictions as well. I believe that you can use this method, framework, technique, whatever you want to call it, for all of them. I've used it for each drug of choice that I used to consume, I'll say. And I'm not talking just weed. I was a pretty serious, a pretty heavily involved drug addict. And then when it comes to gambling, I barred myself from multiple pokies. I had a statewide barring that I imposed on myself and then tricked them into letting me pass. Like I had to do this course to allow me to go back into pokies. And on top of that, I was an insanely thirsty alcoholic. I couldn't have one drink. It was bender or nothing. So it wasn't just like I've been addicted to weed or cigarettes, but I've used this same thing for all of them, and I'm sober and have been for quite some years now. So I think 6 years and longer for drugs. Like I've been doing it. So I've been down this road a couple of times, and I've learned some things along the way, and I think I could tell you a few of them. Mainly just this framework that I call the 1, 2, 3 technique, method, framework. I don't know. I basically break this down. I break it down into 3 steps. Okay, first step is the truth. Second step is realizing that there's 2 different types of whatever it is that you're dealing with. And then the third is you have 3 steps to achieve freedom from the addiction. I say it like this because I want it to be 1, 2, 3 steps. I want it to be simple. Step 1 is the truth. All right? The truth. The truth is, addiction isn't just a bad habit. Addiction is deeper than that. Addiction is like someone has a stronghold, a grip that you can't shake. And you have to acknowledge that. You can't just sit there and be like, yeah, man, I like to party and blah, 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 and it's so fun. Because that's what I used to do before I really took it in. And people were going like, hey man, are you okay? Because you don't stop. Are you doing all right? You haven't eaten in 4 days. You haven't slept in a week. You need to understand the truth about it. You're not just doing, it's not a habit. Dude, you have an addiction and it affects you in the mind, it affects you emotionally, and it affects you spiritually. Whether you're religious or not, I am. I don't know if you could tell from the posters in the back. I very much am Christian. And even if you're not, your spiritual essence, the thing that makes you, is getting tarnished by this. And you need to know that. You need to be aware. Your spirit is being broken the more that you fall victim to your own addiction. Beating it isn't just about beating it. It's not about breaking the habit. It's really about replacing it with something beneficial. You need to replace it with something that benefits you and the people around you. Mainly you. And when you replace that thing that is eating up the inner you, then you can be a better person for those around you. So understanding the truth of what it is. It's not just a habit. This is a mentality. This is a feeling that you have going on inside you that you can't break just yet. You need to understand also the truth of it is that willpower sometimes isn't enough. I've got plenty of willpower. Am I consistent? No. It never worked long term for me when I took on the route of willpower, you know? Like willpower is great for done, I'm giving up today. I've got the willpower for that, and then I've got the willpower for the next day, yeah? And then, but long term, I always failed. And that's hard for some people to say. You might not be the same. I'm not saying you are, but for some people, myself included, willpower was not enough. It's hard for me to think about it and talk about it, but I think if I still talk about it with you guys, then at least you will know that I'm being sincere, because realistically, the people around me, the structure that I created, and God is what I needed. The faith that I had when I was going through these things allowed me to stand on something when my legs weren't strong enough to hold me up. And that may sound cliche and it may not be your cup of tea, but even if you looked at it from a non-religious aspect, if you have the faith that you can do it, right, that might help prop you up when you're feeling down and tough. So that's the first step, right? That's the first step. That's the truth. Second step, looking at the different types. We understand that drinking, drugs, gambling, sex, porn, stealing, whatever else, etc., these are all surface addictions. I say that because they're all the ones that you can see, okay? They're the ones that have direct visual contact, basically. You know when somebody's doing those things, and it's what presents themselves on the surface. The second type is an inner addiction, something in here that is broken. What I'm saying is that you need to fix that. That's the root addiction. Whether it stems from wanting to please somebody or please everybody, or seeking approval, or let me think, like, you know, needing to feel in control is a massive one for some people. Like, these are addictions. You're addicted to that feeling, and that's because something in you is broken. You haven't addressed an issue, and then to mask that, you find an outside, a surface addiction. Mine was escape. When I was 10, I met my dad on my birthday in March, and Mother's Day that year, 3 months later, he committed suicide. And I felt like he did that because of me, because he met me. And I don't know what it was. I got no idea. I've never been told anything. I don't know the details, really. For many years, I didn't even know that he committed suicide. I was told he had a heart attack. So I was escaping everything. I was escaping the feeling that I had, that I wasn't worth it, that I was unworthy of my own father. I was numbing everything from the past. And a lot of people are doing that as well. I had no ability to face that feeling because I didn't understand why I felt that way properly. Obviously, the older I got, I started to face that. And then when I had my wife come into my life. She's been in my life for a long time. But when she really started to show me, like, hey, I really care about you. Which, not that she hadn't earlier, but I think like through all of the rubbish that I was doing, she stuck around, and I realised that maybe I am worthy. Maybe that's what it was. I started to face it. And that's when this stuff started to fall off. Like I faced what I was hiding, what I was masking, what I was covering up. So they're the two types: surface addictions and root addictions. And you need to find out what root addiction is causing your surface addiction before you go on to the next step. And that can be pretty hard, but you've got time, okay? And you can do it. I know that you can do it because I've done it. And I'm not special. Like I said, I'm not special. I've got no tricks in my pockets other than this. So once you've done that, there's 3 steps. This is the 3rd step. And I break it down into 3 steps. The first step is to expose it. Once you know what it is, you need to expose. You got to call it what it is. Stop pretending that it's not a big deal, that the drugs, the alcohol, the gambling, the sex, the porn, whatever it is, you need to stop pretending that you're okay with doing it. You need to stand in the mirror, like I did, and say, this is fucking killing me. This is killing me. And I need to stop. When you do that, and you really look into your own eyes, and you really understand what you want to do, you will know, and you will start to see things shift. You've made yourself aware of it. The second you say it out loud, you will be able to then start making moves to replace it. That is the second part. First step, expose it. Second step, replace it. Replace it with something that matters to you. For me, it was weights, it was running, it was cycling. I've got my bikes up there. It's fitness. I genuinely like keeping active. It's a new form of triggering whatever it is in my brain to make me feel good, the same way that weed, meth, pills, a lot of it, somehow it tickles the same nerves. If you try to quit cold turkey without filling in the gap, you will go back every time. I did. Every time I tried to go cold turkey. It never lasted, okay? Once you've worked it out and you've figured out that thing that you want to replace it with, you need to dial in a routine. Okay, so replace it, get a routine in order, and begin to become disciplined. It doesn't matter if, whatever it turns out to be, if it's just once a day, right? Step 3, surrender it. Being of a religious background, I am going to say that for me, one of the biggest factors in my recovery is surrendering it to God. I had to say I can't do this and I need your help. Me, myself, my being cannot handle the weight that I have put on my shoulders. I cannot carry this. Will you help me? And doing that, I know it sounds cheesy, right? I come from a background of thinking that was just weird. That stuff's weird and you're weak and whatever, but it has been the biggest strength for me. Because when I don't have a good foot to stand on, God does it for me whenever I need it. Now, if you're not religious and you just want to hang around and you want to try this, you can release it to the universe. Definitely. When I first gave up, the first thing that I gave up years ago was pills. And I didn't want to do them anymore. They were getting very dangerous. They've always been dangerous, but at the time in Australia, they were getting very dirty. And I just said it to the universe at the time, like, hey man, I don't want to do these anymore. You have to stop it. Like, you can't let these come into contact with me. So I released it. It wasn't my problem then. It was up to the universe to stop it from ruining my life. Now, with the addictions that I've faced more recently I should say, I'm 6 years sober, alcohol. That was probably the most recent serious one. Currently I'm dealing with sugar cravings. Like, I can't help myself but buy sweets. And now you're probably going to think that's a little bit weird, but I get sick, violently ill from anything with high amounts of sugar and gluten, and so cakes and stuff, which I really like, Krispy Kreme donuts, I cannot stop eating them. They're a problem for me. I get very, very sick. But the addiction side of me, I love them. Like, I love them. They're so nice. So I'm using this framework currently to stop because I don't want to keep feeling sick every night. If I can do this, and not overnight, you can too. I believe if you use this framework, right, exposing it, replacing it, and surrendering to it, you can beat anything, any addiction. You will defeat it. I have done it multiple times. If you're stuck in something right now, I get it. I've been there. But I'm telling you that you don't have to be stuck in it forever. You will make it out. You can use this framework. I believe it will work. If you're stuck in it right now, comment free in the comments and we can talk. Maybe I have something else that I can show you or explain. The way I want to finish this is with a Bible verse that means something to me. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. I've got it here. I'll read it out, okay? No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. I read that as you have the power to defeat it. You know? Yeah, you've been tempted by things of mankind. This is not godly. This is not good for you as a human, as a child of God. And it's heavy on your heart. That's why you click this video. You can use this framework. And if you want to talk to me, comment below. You're not alone. Stay blessed. Stay active. See ya.